This is the problem with saying that hijab is simply a tool of misogyny. Speaking within that exact same framework, to that exact same framework, one which highlights believing women. The narrations that we have when the verses of the Quran were ordained are from jurists, scholars, and academics such as Aisha, Salama, and Sophia bint Shayba. These are women who explain how other women understood those verses as they were revealed. And if we are going to say that sometimes women are simply brainwashed, that's a reality. But then look at the likes of someone like the journalist Maryam Abu Daqqa. She was just martyred in Gaza because of her revolutionary stance alongside all of the journalists of Gaza to decolonize a world that has been brainwashed into accepting the genocide of an entire population. And if you're going to say, well, sometimes women are incredibly intelligent in one area of their life, but they have a filter through which they see the lens of the world in another, then I'd like to go back to the definition of misogyny itself. Because misogyny is actually a Greek word, and it's connected to the literature of Greek philosophers who were incredibly misogynistic in their writing. And it's an interesting note in Islamic history that there were women scholars and academics in all different fields until there were a group who took power that took translated from Greek into Arabic text, that took the understanding of the philosophers, forced it into religious understanding, asserted that they needed Greek philosophy in order to understand laws related to women, and then closed the doors of education and scholarship for women when they took power. Of course, misogyny existed before that, and it continues to exist after that. But is it not interesting that we have a direct historic connection? There are absolutely women who are forced into wearing hijab, but we can hold space to highlight using hijab as a tool in contrast with hijab as an act of worship. And what I find particularly interesting is in speaking to the pedagogy of the oppressed, so often the very people who are trying to liberate us from hijab are the ones willing to sideline, dismiss, and silence women's voices who speak to our love for it.